morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Makini 90 Art Sermon and Illustrator. Welcome you to another video here on the Makini Jaws channel. Hope you all are doing well today. So, Dragon Age, the Veilguard. This is a very highly anticipated title from BioWare and publisher EA, and this is a title that a lot of people are talking about right now, especially with the release being on Halloween. So, in about the time of this video, probably about a week and a half, if not even a week from the launch day. However, there has been a lot. The reception behind Dragon Age: The Veilguard has definitely been divisive. Let's say divisive. You know, there's definitely people who are excited about it, people are looking forward to it, says it look good and such like that, to people who are not, who are feeling like this might be, you know, BioWare's last chance and they might not be able to hit it out of the park this time. It's the reception and talk with the Veilguard has been very, very interesting to say the least, hearing from, you know, different people's perspective and such like that. Where I'm coming in and where I kind of want to provide my personal thoughts is regarding some certain comments from one of the former writers of the Dragon Age series, and this is also in regards to kind of my personal thoughts. So before we get into it, I do want to say my personal thoughts on the matter. The Fortnite-ish art style is, I don't know. Something about the art style is just kind of not resonating with me, or it's not like enticing me enough. And I will admit, from some of the gameplay that we saw, it just wasn't, the gameplay to me just was not like, it just didn't capture me. It just didn't capture me. I know that's going to be a discussion back and forth. I just feel like the HUD and everything feels like a mobile game in a way, and it just, I don't know. It just something's not clicking or something like that. But one thing I did want to bring up, and one thing I was talking about in previous videos and previous streams, was the character creator. All in all, I think the character creator is pretty good, is pretty decent. However, I did notice one specific flaw in it. That is not with the top surgery scars. No, the flaw that I saw with the character creator was the breast and butt slider that was implemented, and how when you like bring that slider all the way to max, all the way like 100%, all the way to like the right, your character still look flat. And I still stand by that, you know. It's, I don't know, and especially for, you know, the direction, and for a game like this that really is pushing the, you know, body diversity, you know, and, you know, just general diversity, inclusiveness, and adding all these features for representation points and such like that. And I personally don't feel like Dragon Age: The Veilguard, the upcoming BioWare title, is not, like, they say it's like about, you know, representation and everything. I just don't think it's representing everyone. I feel like it's excluding certain body types. I feel like you're not really making the character that you actually want to make. That's just me personally. I know we can probably argue about that until the cows come home on that one. However, there is a specific series of points, a series of comments that I thought was very interesting, especially considering from some of the videos that I was watching yesterday regarding, or the day before, regarding Dragon Age: The Veilguard and its sales prospects and such like that, especially with pre-orders and such like that. And that came from one specific person, and that is one David Gaider. David Gaider has definitely been in talks before, has definitely been in the conversation before. Of course, he is a former writer at BioWare and has a huge, of course, has a long list of, you know, history and accolades and such like that. But he did, you know, if everybody recall, like I think about a month ago or about a couple weeks ago, him saying that if you you know, critics who are critics of Dragon Age: The Veilguard are regarded as tourists, and they have never like been actual fans of the game before and such like that. And I think that is painting it with a broad brush. I think that, you know, I've seen some negative criticisms from people who aren't into the Dragon Age series, and I've seen criticisms from people who are into the Dragon Age series, actually longtime Dragon Age fans who are genuinely worried about maybe the changes in direction and what may happen, what changes in direction and what's been going on within the game, especially now that, you know, we had those leaks from the one of the alleged game testers. Sorry about that. Alleged game testers. You know, it's kind of spilling the beans on what you may expect, what gamers may expect on Halloween when the game releases. You know, things are not looking too promising for this upcoming Dragon Age title, and this is the divisiveness that's been going on regarding this title has been very interesting to watch. So I wouldn't say that, you know, it's just a bunch of tourists. It's like they're legitimately concerned fans back and forth, legitimately concerned fans about, you know, the direction the game is going, what they're seeing, that this may not be, you know, this may not live up to what we saw before with, like, say, Dragon Age Origins or Inquisition and such like that. You know, of course, anybody who's a BioWare fan could probably let me know about that in the comments and such like that, or look, the Dragon Age fans as well. I'd love to hear from you on that one. But there's specific comments, and I think it was regarding to the character creator, and this is coming from David Gaider's Blusky, because he's closing down his Twitter, and I assume that, considering how he's saying all this and framing all of this, I would believe that if he put this on Twitter, he would have likely been ratioed into the Shadow Realm. So I guess doing it on Blusky because it's a much more safer space. But even on Blusky, I saw, you know, people like even criticizing him on his statements as well. But let's get right into it. This is all regarding to the character creator and such like this. And the first one I want to bring up is to the whole females aren't hot enough. And this was also something that Mark Kern Grums was sharing on Twitter as well. The females aren't hot enough, yet because they clued into the notion that this is obviously incel behavior, they swapped out unattractive for masculine and thus transgender, because that's a framing which that makes them seem political or porn-brained, or coomer-brained, or prawn-brained. But we all know what they mean. What? Like, wait, what? Like, I don't understand what you're referring to. Like, I don't understand. It's like, let's break this down. First off, you use incel behavior, which I think you're just projecting. I think that's right off the bat. We're just kind of getting off the bat as well. But swapping out unattractive for masculine and thus transgender, and I think he was referring to the fact that, you know, this whole idea that a lot of what we've been seeing in gaming is with the characters being, you know, unattractive, or especially with female characters seem to kind of have these more masculine features and such like that. It seemed to be, you know, appealing or trying not to piss off a specific group or something like that, you know, for, you know, representation reasons and such like that, and trying to, you know, make this all seem political instead of prawn-brained, which I think that is massive projection, honestly. It's massive projection. I think people who want people who actually do want to see especially attractive female characters in their games, it's not out of prawn-based reasons. It's just people like seeing what's visually appealing to them. And then the one thing that was interesting is, like, and here I am recalling how this has been a thing since some dude wide about 10 years ago about Cassandra actually being a man, posting over and over about her giant jaw and phenology pics to scientifically prove why his pee remained flaccid. What? We'll get more into this because it just sounds a lot like some either some insecurities or just out of touch or just projection, basically. Let's continue. One person was responding, no hate, Gaider, but if you're attracted to men, you're gonna find attractive guys attractive. The same goes for men and women, the opposite sex or not. That just doesn't make you a prawn brain or just like anime, just human nature. Gaider responds, if it's just a matter of them not finding characters attractive enough, that'd be fine. That's just not it. However, they're angry at any video game that doesn't supply them with the characters they specifically find attractive or grasping at reasons why they're being denied quite something else. The thing is that, you know, what we've been kind of seeing with a lot of the games recently, especially, you know, the Dustborns and the Concords of the world and such like that, is like, especially if you're kind of framing this as especially if you're kind of framing Dragon Age as kind of in the form of like a hero shooter and such like that, it's like, you know, kind of the same thing was said with Conquerors. It's like, one of the appeals of hero shooters is that you gotta have at least a couple characters that you want to play as, that you take one good look and it's like, okay, I do want to play as that character. I think that character looks cool. I think that character looks attractive regardless. And it doesn't have to be like going to like this prawn Kuma brain, whatever you want to try to frame it as. But I do think the same thing can be said here, and I know that's a very mixed topic regarding the characters in Dragon Age the Veilguard, but it seems that they're kind of going with that same direction as well, especially with a custom character creator. But you know, it's players, man. It's players, it's customers, people who are going to buy the game. It's just, you know, just give it something, you know, don't invalidate choices. I think that's the best way to put it, because the person who responded said, you know, don't invalidate the choices, don't invalidate people's choices or concerns or something like that. And I think you're just grasping at straws though. And grasping at straws, and I think it just comes down to, you know, they could just breaks down to projection, but it gets further. Someone else also posted, why can I just prefer the characters be attractive? And if Gaider responds, once again, nothing wrong with that. We all have our preferences, but there's no shortage of fandom when it comes to lusting after hot characters, but that's not what this is. Okay, David, what is it then? Because, like, the same thing, because what you're kind of saying is that we could probably throw this back in your face, especially regarding what we've been seeing on, let's be honest here, on the other side, this whole term of, like, you know, what's approved, like safe approved, like, God, I hate saying this term, safe horny, like this, what's approved and stuff like that, where you'll see like journalists and people slam, you know, Stellar Blade for Eve's attractiveness, but at the same time praise something like Baldur's Gate 3 for having jiggling like dick physics and such like that, and or genital physics basically. And it's like, okay, I mean, you can have, I believe that you can have both. You can have something that can appeal to everyone, and I think that, you know, if you want to be truly inclusive, you want to be truly diverse, you know, show that to everyone, expand that to everyone, allow, you know, having different choices, allow characters to want to make the characters the way they want to. And I'm gonna go back to this again, if you're going to have a bust or breast slider, you know, actually share it, actually show that, you know, characters want a large ass, characters want a large chest. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, this is a primarily single player outing, you know, just let people have fun. Let people they want to make their attractive characters. Why not? You know, I don't see, what, David, what is this? Like, what is it then what it is? Because this is what it sounds like coming from you, is that it's just projecting and just kind of being like tone deaf. You know, not seeing that, you know, people on the other side will be doing the same thing. Let's be honest here. Both sides are degenerates, okay? It's just that it's clear that it's degeneracy approved only on one side of the aisle. And the other side of the aisle, when they bring it up, they're, you know, they're called, you know, incels, prawn addicts, Coomer brains, whatever. you know, they never spoken to a real woman before. Like, like this is serious projection, and I could see why you wanted to post this on Blusky, because it seemed to be much more of a safe space there for you instead of Twitter, where you probably would have been called out. Probably would have had multiple videos made on you. But it's just pathetic. But this one I thought was very interesting here. This was from someone else, and this was David Gaider replied. It's ridiculous because every female character in Dragon Age is gorgeous except for Sister Patrice. They're just mad they aren't white. Okay, this is I don't have to look at this as like a Uno reverse card, just like a Uno card in general, and I know we already go past 15 minutes on this one. First off, I'm black. This whole thing of that everything is quote unquote woke if it stars a female character or stars a POC. Oh no, it's stars that non-white person, because I'm not using the term POC. That's just painted with a broad brush. That's just painted with a broad brush, and you're just kind of being disingenuous about that as well. You know, not looking into just like, okay, there's some other issues here, more than just, you know, what is at face value that, you know, a lot of people are speaking up about, a lot of people are having issues with. And me personally, I don't ever use the term woke, although I will happily use those tags just because, you know what the hell, it gets traction. But I never would try to frame it as woke or anything like that. But this one is, I wouldn't be mad if any character wasn't white or anything like that. That's just very blatant, just paint everything with a broad brush. But David Gaider's response is, when your idea of beauty is framed solely in the prawn you watch and the anime you prefer to, then no, they aren't, and not to them. And the very likely pine for the days when every female character existed to be beautiful, and what could have changed? The world changed, dude. Okay, this is blatant projection. This is blatant projection here. Not everybody's idea of beauty. The people who complain, the people who have a problem with, say, the character creator, or somehow some of the female characters are portrayed in, you know, many of the various video games that we've been seeing over this past year alone. Their idea of beauty isn't, not everyone's idea of beauty is solely framed by the prawn or anime and such like that, and I can say that as well. It's general idea. People have different ideas, people have different standards of beauty, and what is pretty to them, what is attractive to them, and it is diverse. It's diverse, and the people who do have legitimate complaints about maybe how the characters look in the game, how the character creator may look in the game, and such like that, how the faces are and such like that, you know, you don't think that those people don't you really think everybody has like this Neanderthal, like this, we have to whip our dicks out every time we see an attractive female character, just based on, you know, us being like Coomer Brain, us being Pronax or whatever. It's like, that is blatant projection, and honestly, I honestly sense some sense of insecurity going on, especially coming from you, Gaider. And let's go on to the fact that this is probably come from the same crowd too. Will demonize the attractiveness of female characters in previous games, like what we're seeing with for take a shining example, what we're seeing with Lara Croft here, and especially with the new Netflix series, and how it seems that the people who are championing this are people who are crapping all over the OG Lara Croft for being, you know, unrealistic, too attractive. You know, it's not feminist. Apparently, it's not feminist enough for these people. I mean, look at the. Let's look at the. Look at the Guardian article for that one. Just all these things. It's like, this is blatant projection. It's like, from where I see what could have changed. It's like, female characters existed to be beautiful. It's like, yeah, and that was totally fine. That was totally fine for both sides of the aisle. It's just that when you bring it up now, you're either demonized, you're either attacked, or just let's be honest here. You throw terms like incel, prawn addict, Coomer brain, and such like that, yeah, you have no arguments. Don't give me this whole maturity crap, that we matured and such like that, right? Because, you know, because we can point out that apparently, you know, being mature is having more, pushing towards of, the eliminating the concept of gender is somehow much more. Is how we're growing and maturing, apparently. You know, we can't have defined female characteristics anymore. You know, it has to be androgynous. It has to be, it has to be political and such like that. Like, you're not in the right when you make these kind of things here. And it's like, you're not in this. Explain to me how the world changed. Explain to me how somehow your line of thinking is that, we've matured from, having any form of attractiveness whatsoever. When it comes to fictional, it's like the whole thing, when it comes to fictional characters, you treat real women as fictional characters and you treat fictional characters as real people. Like, it's the same thing with the whole, like loli argument and such like that too. And one comment I want to bring on here, this was another reply I found. This is why on projects, I've always encouraged teams to just go for it when it comes to representation. The worst people in the world are going to complain just as hard if you have a single POC or a whole diverse cast, so you might as well do it right. Okay, let me bring this here. If your entire cast is framing it solely for representation reasons, then you're doing it wrong. You are doing it completely wrong. And we have had games before with an entirely diverse cast, or games before with a non-white male character actually do pretty well. So you're just framing it as every single any game or anything with a POC character or a non-white male character is automatically woke in our eyes, and that's not the case, and you are just taking it completely out of context. Make fun characters. Make it fun first. Idiots. I'm sorry. I'm calling Kid Cajun right there, but no. Just having a good, good game and good story. It doesn't matter if it's, a POC. It doesn't matter if it's a non-white male character. We've had so many, female characters in games, before us, and we're going to have so many more female characters in games that we're going to love after us as well. And the same thing with POC characters. In fact, I would love to see, me personally, I would love to see them take more stabs at having more non-POC characters as main characters in games. Not out of representation reasons, just because you can make some really fun games out of that. You can make some really good designs out of that. You can really make some characters that really resonate well with everyone, regardless of race, skin tone, sex, whatever. When you kind of go the Concord or Dustborn route, where your character design, or just emphasis of characters that we got to check this box, we got to check this box, we got to check this box. That's not good. That's not a way to make a character. That's not a way to make let alone a good character. Because if you're basing it solely on this checkbox, this representation thing, that's not going to help. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help anyone. It's going to be. A character is more than what they are just on face value, just what they are in. A character is more than just skin deep. And if you design your characters, if you base your story, your characters solely on ticking off if this character is non-white, if this character is, say, Latino, or this character is, say, gay or trans or non-binary, whatever, and that's the only traits you have, that's the only traits that you think that everybody's just gonna immediately just magically resonate with, you're doing it wrong. I don't know what else to tell you. You're doing it wrong. And as far as Gaider is concerned, because we're close to 30 minutes on this right now, and I probably need to do some cutting, I just see this as blatant projection. And clearly, you got some insecurities, and this is coming from a non-white person. Just saying. From what the discourse that I've been seeing with Dragon Age Veilguard, this might be a do or die situation for BioWare and for BioWare as a whole, because if this game fails, the EA might have to pull the plug. At the same time, you know, I think this game will have its audience. I think this game will find somewhat of a success. However, if they're expecting this game to be the next, like, Baldur's Gate 3, or to hit those highs that Baldur's Gate 3's hit, you know, to a point where it became multiple Game of the Year nominees, I don't think it's gonna happen with Dragon Age Veilguard. I don't think that's gonna happen. And I think them, and I will be honest with you, I think them trying to kind of match that success of Baldur's Gate 3, trying to match that kind of that style, that theme, and such like that, trying to, you know, make lightning strike twice. I just don't think that's gonna work. You're gonna hear we got this game's coming out in October, so we're gonna hear a lot more comments. We're gonna hear a lot more divisiveness. We're gonna hear a lot more just talks surrounding this game up until launch, and there'll be plenty of people playing it, providing their thoughts. And I'm gonna be very interesting to see what the player figures are, as well as how the user critics and the different critics are scoring, because from what I've been seeing so far, nothing about Dragon Age Veilguard to me looks like Game of the Year material. That's just my opinion. What are yours? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of David Gaider's projection in the comments as well. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Love to hear from you. Let's get a comment going. Let's keep it civil and such like that. As always, massive thank you to everyone in the cute, sexy, and fun nation. If you guys want to see your name on the screen, you can join CSF Nation for as low as $1 a month. Thank you everybody for your support. Of course, you guys get exclusive art drops that I do every 2 months for my channel members in form of the big art batches that I do. And I want to thank you all for your incredible support, and I thank you all for watching. As always, I'm Mach90, art serving illustrator, and I'll see you all next time for another video. So until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care, much love. Never apologize for wanting attractive women in your media, especially in your video games, because, well, people like David Gaider is just gonna, you know, call all of you, you know, incels, Coomer brained, whatever, just not showing any effing argument whatsoever. And sorry, little snide there. And above all else, never stop drawing.